Today we're going to be taking a look at LTX 2.3. Now this is technically day 1, day 0 was yesterday when this launched. So this is going to be just a very surface level video. I have a couple of different workflows for you guys as well as some resources, and you can find those resources in the Patreon link in the description. It's completely free, but yeah, I basically just wanted to provide you guys these workflows, show a couple of examples, give some thoughts, and overall keep this pretty short. So the two workflows are pretty much exactly the same. The only difference between the two is the models that we're using. Now before I get into that, some context. My PC hardware is a 3060 Ti, which is 8 gigabytes of VRAM. I have 128 gigs of system RAM, so quite a bit of total system RAM. And that in mind, I've been able to generate pretty decently at around 720p, both in horizontal and vertical. Now I've had generations take, 30 minutes and some that have taken about an hour. So overall, regardless of which workflow you're using here, I would recommend running this in Runpod. Quantized or GGUF versions of this model just came out today, and I haven't had a chance to test them yet, but that is also an option if you don't want to use Runpod and want to keep everything local. And the link to GGUFs is both in the description and in the Patreon guide. So like I said, the first version of this workflow uses the full model, which is the 48 gig 22B dev model. So if you have quite a bit of system RAM, even with low VRAM, you should be able to run this. Then we have the distilled LoRa. Pretty much it's exactly the same setup like LTX 2. The only difference is that we don't have the detailer LoRa right now, so we're just waiting on that. But overall, I've seen some really solid results, and we'll go over a couple of those. And you have all your links to download the models here. Then over here, you have your load image settings, your resolution, frame rate, video length, your negative and positive prompt, and then also a couple of notes here on best practices. And this is your actual generation process. And for those of you who haven't worked with subgraphs, if something breaks or if you're missing nodes or there's an error, you can dig into that error by clicking here. And so you may get a blank screen. To fix that, you're just going to click this button down here, fit to view. So now you can see pretty much the whole workflow. If you need to dig in here, you read this just like you would a book from left to right. So if anything needs to be adjusted, you can do that. And then to back out, you just click back here, and that will bring you back to the main workflow. So basically, you'll load this workflow, click Manager, update ComfyUI, load this workflow in, download each of these models here, and put them in their correct folders. Then press R on your keyboard, which will give you this pop-up here. Wait until you get this node definitions updated thing. Then you should be able to actually select your models from the drop-down list. So you'll set that. You'll set your generation settings, just set to 5 seconds at 24 frames per second, 720p by default, and you hit run. Now, like I said, the other workflow is exactly the same. The only difference is I have the Kjai FP8 version. You'll download all your models here, place them in the correct folder. First, you'll make sure you're updated, download all your models, put them in the correct folders, press R, wait for the refresh, and load them all in here. Now, for those of you that are just getting started with Comfy, you may be asking, well, what's the difference? So Kjai is very well known in the ComfyUI community. He does quite a bit for everyone. And so the original dev model that we looked at back here is about 48 gigs inside. And generally, like we've talked about in videos in the past, to know whether you can run a model locally or not, you have to compare the size of the model with how much RAM you have, VRAM and RAM. So 48 gigs being quite a bit is a little too much for some people. So the FP8 version by Kjai is about half the size, and in theory should run quicker while maintaining a lot of the same quality. And in my testing and experience, it does, but locally I've actually seen it take longer than the full version, which is really interesting. And the quality is exactly the same, if not a little better, with Kjai's FP8 version. Now again, in both of these cases, even 20 something gigs is still a lot for people. So there are GGUFs that were just made available this morning. And like I said, that link is provided in the description, and you should be able to just sub out the model here in either workflow for the GGUF, and you should be good to go. Overall, if you're planning on running one of the big versions of this model, I'd recommend just doing it in Runpod with a better GPU. Overall, the LTX 2.3 generations are pretty fast. Even locally, I'm pretty shocked at the quality I'm getting, even if I have to wait an hour. So overall, I'd recommend running it in Runpod, but that opinion might change when we see how the GGUF quantized versions perform. All right, but now I wanted to actually go through some example generations that I've made. A couple of notes that all the videos we're about to look at are all image to video. They are all 121 frames at 24 frames per second, which is about 5 seconds per clip. And like I said, it's about 45 minutes to an hour on my hardware. I've also seen some generations less than half an hour, so it really seems to depend. And all of the generations you're about to see were created with the full 48 gigabyte dev model. So without further ado, we got to start off with the Will Smith video.
LTX 2.3 has the sauce.
yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with this, especially all being local. I really love how the sign kind of turns a little bit because it doesn't feel quite unnatural. Maybe this little part at the end here where it kind of turns a little too much feels a little bit unnatural right there. But overall, I love the shot. The voice is pretty good, and as we saw with LTX 2, you were able to upload your own audios, so waiting for that functionality, and we'd even be able to give Will Smith his actual voice here. Overall, the bite looks pretty good, the skin quality looks good, the expressions look good. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this. There's a little bit of weirdness with the hand and the fork right there, like if we go to the end here and we take a look at the fork, it kind of becomes like a morphed spoon or something, but that's something that could probably even be improved with maybe some more steps. But yeah, overall for 8 gigabytes of VRAM, I'm pretty satisfied with this. Of course, we had to do the fight test. Now, prompts for LTX are pretty long, so I'm not actually going to read them off here. I do have all the prompts in the Patreon post for this video, but basically the prompt was something along the lines of, this guy throws 2 quick punches, he stumbles back, and he goes in for the knockout with kind of one final blow. And honestly, I mean, it's not great, but it's pretty close. Like, we see some good contact there. Like, if we play this back all the way through, we see this punch come through, and I mean, it lands, right? And we do see him kind of go for the knockout. At the end of the prompt, I did say he raises his hand kind of in victory, and if we go to the end here, we can kind of see that almost like in motion he raises his hand. So I think this one could have been better with, you know, maybe a 10-second clip. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It's still got a little bit of that weirdness to it, but I think it's still definitely better than some of the other models we've seen in the past. And I love like the water coming off. Wish we would have seen a little bit more of that. But again, for local generation on a pretty poor system relative to what is expected in this community, I'm pretty impressed with this, I gotta be honest.
Guys, check out this super cute bag that I got from Amazon the other day. I just love it. You can get it too at the link in my...
Of course, we had to do the influencer test. Now, I don't think that this is necessarily a great example, especially if you're just looking at it like this, but when you take into consideration the prompt and what's being tested here, I think it is pretty impressive. So the prompt was basically UGC style footage of the woman in the picture, kind of showing off this bag, saying how cute it is and that you can shop it in the link in her bio. Now, obviously that gets cut off. Again, I think with maybe a longer video, we could have gotten a really good result here. So that's kind of one element that was being tested. How good does it understand a term like UGC and what that really means? So even though she's not actually speaking, but we're still hearing narration, I honestly think that's probably right based on what I asked for in the prompt, because in a UGC style video, it's a lot of B-roll showing things off with narration over the top. So yeah, I mean, with that in mind, I think this is a pretty impressive result. Another thing that I'm testing here is how well can it maintain coherence of this product. You know, with WAN 2.2, I used to see in the past, something like this would lead to smearing, but overall, this is really impressive to me. Everything kind of stays the same regardless of the frame that you're on. So, you know, we see all of these different keychains here in the beginning, but if we skip to the end, all these keychains still look relatively the same. I mean, there's still a little bit of that smearing going on, but it's not enough to take you out of it or make you think that this is AI. I also love the subtle motion blur when she's moving this bag around. I think that's really interesting. So overall, yeah, another really great result here. And coming back to all the videos we've made on AI in business, you know, talk about something like this at scale for a bunch of products. Could be a really interesting idea.
What am I supposed to do again?
All right, and finally, the last result for today. I honestly thought that this was really impressive. The goal here was to see how well does LTX handle, you know, emotions, realism, facial expressions, different sound effects. I love how when she takes the glasses and hat off, there's actually a sound to that. I think there's a little weirdness right here. Kind of doesn't really match the original face that we started with. And yeah, I think the quality degrades a little bit over time. But for a 720p video, again, generated locally, this is extremely coherent. And with maybe some topaz upscaling, bringing this up to 60 FPS, bringing out some of the details, you could have an extremely realistic clip here. And again, this is all image to video. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Just wanted to do this first kind of level setting video with LTX 2.3 coming out. Like I said, this is day one, so I think there's a lot that we'll find out in the coming weeks on this model and maybe better ways to generate with it. So I will likely make a follow-up video to this one if there's anything new or major that comes out with the model. And again, you guys can find both of the workflows, different links and resources in the Patreon guide in the description. Again, totally free, no pressure. But I know that there have been some people kind of struggling to get a good LTX 2.3 workflow going, so I just wanted to share this out. All right, everybody. See you guys in the next one.